Hello everyone, today we're looking at indium soldering gold in lasers. My name is Bradley McLean. Please join me as we learn about these things together. So gold is pretty awesome. I think everyone knows that. Everyone knows that lasers are pretty cool too. But what's cooler than that? Golden lasers. And only one thing can top golden lasers. Golden lasers in space. But you know what's not cool? Golden lasers in space that don't work. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So the GFSC NASA advisory didn't list which spacecraft these awesome gold lasers were on. There's no manufacturer, no part name, or anything like that, really. We're really trying to hide these cool space lasers from me. Not going to happen. So I Googled the advisory number. And I kept getting the same old advisory PDF. I Googled spacecraft laser failures and laser diode NASA failures, and I tried every combination of words I could think of. After a while, it seemed to kind of elude me, but my detective skills are scary good, and one bit of info led me to finding out which one it was. The GFSC mentions that the laser failure happened after 36 days of operation. So after Googling specifically that number, I found a paper with a little more info on it. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you ISAT. Okay, that's not actually ISAT. That's its successor, ISAT 2. It had way cooler pictures. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you ISAT for real this time. ISAT was manufactured by Ball Aerospace. Its main mission was to measure ice, cloud, and land topography, particularly over the poles, to tell us how much our planet was dying. Its main instrument was GLASS, or the Geoscience Laser Altimeter System. It's a space-based LiDAR, which is like radar, but it uses lasers, so it's way cooler. It had a target mission of 3 to 5 years. ISAT was launched on January 13th, 2013 on a Delta II from Vandenberg Air Force Base. And it was put into a 586-kilometer circular orbit at 93 degrees inclination, right over the poles. Initially, things went smoothly. All operations seemed nominal until 23 days in, when laser 1 of 3 had an energy shift. It went from red to green. Lasers that change color are super cool, but only when it's supposed to happen. The energy drops continued to happen until day 36, when at 9:58 a.m. the laser ceased pulsation altogether, after which the ground controllers turned off its power to prevent any further damage to other components in the spacecraft. The Independent Glass Anomaly Review Board was created on May 7, 2013 to figure out what went wrong. They concluded it was a failed laser diode. And that is definitely not the IGAR Review Board, but they're NASA people, so it's close enough. And after looking into it more, what they found was that the indium soldering used to hold the pumped diode array was used in excess, and it would actually coat portions of the pumped diode array's gold wires. So maybe wasn't entirely honest that the laser itself isn't entirely gold, but at least portions of it are. And that doesn't make it any less cool. When gold and indium come together, they form a non-conductive intermetallic. and the rate of that formation is dependent on the temperature of the environment. And a current shunt forced the redistribution of the current when it noticed that parts of the current were dropping off, which actually increased the thermal stress and made the intermetallic formation actually faster. The iGarb team was able to reproduce this error, and they had a golden indium solder placed at room temperature for about 90 days, and they noticed that it shrunk the diameter of the gold wire, and they could see this creation of the intermetallic compounds in an area around the gold wire. Eventually, the wires fused open, creating an arc that short-circuited itself and other diodes. This really highlighted the fact that the flight qualification may not have been as good as it should have been, despite thermal vacuum and vibrational environment tests. The glass instrument was a prototype, and its test unit was created that performed accelerated life tests on similar diode arrays. But this particular laser diode array was commercial off the shelf. Luckily, the mission could continue because the spacecraft had 2 backup lasers. It would continue its operation for 7 more years, letting us know just how little time there is before the ice caps melt, the world floods, and everything dies. So the big takeaways from this was that more extensive laser diode flight array qualification programs was needed in the future. Also that hardware designated as heritage requires rigorous analysis to ensure it still meets the requirement of new missions. And you definitely should not use indium in the proximity of goals, but also that we really got to fix climate change. It's kind of bad. Thank you for learning with me. I hope you all can enjoy your space lasers working, hopefully, in the future.